Are you a parent who loves your millennial son or daughter but are struggling to communicate with them? Do you feel like you're speaking different languages? Are you wondering why your calls are met with "I am busy," or "it's not a good time," or just no answer at all? Today, we're going to give you some tips that may prove to help you understand the divide. Don't take it personally when they don't call. The Pew Research Center reports that 70% of millennials use Facebook and 29% use it daily. And even though 84% of millennials own smartphones, it's only 39% say they call their parents at least weekly. There's no simple explanation for this. Some think that millennials are too busy with their careers and personal lives to make time for regular phone calls. Others believe that millennials prefer to communicate through text rather than over the phone. Whatever the reason, boomer parents need to understand that their children may not call as often as they did when they were younger. That doesn't mean that they don't care. It just means that they have different priorities now. Be flexible with your communication style. Boomers tend to prefer face-to-face conversations or phone calls, while millennials are more comfortable communicating through text or social media. This can cause some misunderstandings and frustration. For example, a boomer parent may think that their child is being rude if they respond to a text message with just a few words. But that's how most millennials communicate. They may be busy and only have a few moments to check their phone, so they'll quickly respond with a short message. It's important for boomers to understand this and be patient with their children. Try not to take it personally if they don't respond right away, or if their messages are short. Just be happy that you're able to communicate with them at all. Don't try to force them to talk. If your child does call or come over for dinner, don't force them to talk about their life, especially if they're not comfortable sharing. Some topics that might be off limits include relationships, work, and personal problems. These are the types of things that most people don't want to discuss with their parents, even if they love them. And that goes double for millennials. One study found that 71% of millennials said that talking about their feelings is uncommon in their family. So if your child seems uncomfortable, just change the subject. Don't push them to talk about something they're not ready to share. This will only make them more guarded and less likely to open up in the future. Show interest in their hobbies and passions, even if you don't understand or agree with everything your child is into. Show an interest. Ask questions and listen attentively. This will let them know that you're interested in their life and what makes them happy. When you make an effort to connect with your child on their level, they'll be more likely to do the same. This doesn't mean you have to become an expert on whatever they're passionate about. But showing a little bit of interest can go a long way. Don't compare them to other kids. Millennials have been labeled the me generation, which has led to some stereotypes that they're selfish and entitled. A lot of this comes from the fact that millennials are often compared to previous generations, especially boomers. But the truth is that each generation is different, and what worked for one may not work for another. For example, boomers often talk about how hard they had to work to get where they are now. But millennials have faced different challenges and opportunities. The world has changed a lot since boomers were young. And it's important to remember that when talking to your millennial child, don't compare them to other kids. This is a great way to motivate your boomer grandkids, but it can actually be counterproductive with millennials. It can make them feel like you rejudging them, and that can lead to a lot of resentment. Instead, focus on helping your child become the best version of themselves. Let them know that you love and support them no matter what. Try to understand their perspective. When you were a kid, life was probably very different than it is today. There were fewer distractions, like smartphones and social media, and the world was probably a lot less complex. So it can be tough for boomers to understand the challenges that millennials face today. But it's important to try. Put yourself in their shoes and see things from their point of view. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they say, but it will help you understand where they're coming from. Once you understand their perspective, you can start to see things from their point of view. This will make it easier to communicate and connect with your child on a deeper level. Show empathy. One of the biggest complaints that millennials have about their boomer parents is that they're too critical. Boomers often have high expectations for their children, which is understandable. They want the best for them, and they want them to succeed. But millennials are under a lot of pressure to succeed. They're constantly being told that they're lazy, entitled, and narcissistic. And the last thing they need is a critical parent. It's important for boomers to remember that millennials are under a lot of stress. They're trying to find their place in the world and make a difference. They're also trying to deal with the economic crisis and student loan debt. So instead of being critical, try to be empathetic. Put yourself in their shoes and imagine what it would be like to go through what they are going through. Once you understand what they're dealing with, you can start to see things from their point of view. This will make it easier to communicate and connect with your child on a deeper level. Don't lecture them. One of the worst things a boomer parent can do is lecture their millennial child. Boomers often think they know what's best for their children, and they may try to use their experience and knowledge to guide their child in the right direction. But this can backfire. Millennials are intelligent and capable, and they don't need to be lectured. They also don't respond well to criticism. So instead of lecturing, try to have a conversation. Ask questions and listen to their perspective. This will let them know that you respect them, and it will make them more likely to listen to what you have to say. Focus on the positive. Negativity is a surefire way to kill communication. When you're constantly negative, your child will eventually tune you out. They won't want to talk to you because it's just too draining. So focus on the positive. Celebrate the good times and be happy for your child. When they share something positive, be their biggest cheerleader. Let them know you're proud of them and that you love them. Your attitude is contagious, so make it a positive one. Don't give up. It takes time to build trust and understanding. So don't give up on your relationship with your child. Keep trying to connect with them, even if it's tough. Keep showing up for them, even if they don't show up for you. Keep loving them unconditionally, even if they don't love you the way you want them to. Building a strong relationship with your millennial child is worth it. The love and connection you share are priceless. In conclusion, if you're a boomer parent of a millennial adult child, don't get discouraged if communication is difficult. Just keep these tips in mind, and you'll be on your way to a better relationship. Remember, it takes time to build trust and understanding, but it's worth it in the end. You may not always see eye to eye, but that's okay. What matters most is that you love and support each other, so don't give up on your relationship with your child. Keep trying to connect with them and keep showing them that you care. They may not show it, but they appreciate it more than you know. Please like and share this video if you feel it was helpful.